Hello, my name is Frank McKenna. I'm here at UC Berkeley, working for the NERI Sim Center. This is a short video demonstrating the setup instructions we would like you to run through for the C programming days. These will ensure that you're ready to start programming on day one. There are 17 steps involved. I'm going to go through each of these steps. These steps are outlined on the following web page, which I will demonstrate when I bring up my virtual machine. Here I am on my desktop. If I want to bring up my web browser, I'm going to go to GitHub. First task was to fork the repo. So to fork the repo, I first have to go find the repo. So I'm going to search for SimCenter, GitHub, SimCenter, and Bootcamp. And there, this is what I want. I want a NERI SimCenter, SimCenter Bootcamp 2020 on GitHub. So this is my GitHub. NERI SimCenter, SimCenter Bootcamp 2020. So the first thing I got to do is I want to fork this repo. Before I fork it, I have to sign in. If you've never signed up, you're going to sign up first. So let me sign in. My GitHub is that. Remember, enter your own name, not mine. It's not now. Okay, so now to fork the repo, remember NERI SimCenter, make sure you're under NERI. Come over here to the top right, we have that little fork button. That forks it. You're not going to see this message. I do because I'm OpenSeas, F. McKenna, and some other GitHub username. So now we're forking the repo. So now here we are. I'm under F. McKenna. I have this repo, which is being forked from NERI SimCenter. So this is what I want. What I want to do is go to this code section. This will give me a HTTP address that I want to paste into my clipboard. So I'm just going to come down to the little clipboard icon and select that. So that's now pasted this HTTP address into my clipboard. Now down here I want to show you something at the bottom of your new fork repo. You'll have this link where we have the online documentation for our bootcamp. There are a number of things you might want to look at before session starts on Monday. We have a little blurb on how to use Emacs, some of the commands you might want to know. You're going to find out that Emacs is not a graphical interface editor. It's a command line thing, so everything is done in the shell. There's a little blurb on Git, which you might also find interesting. But there is a session that we're going to repeat daily to get you to update your repos. Finally, Frontera, instructions on how to log in, and also some basic Linux commands. The one I showed you earlier in the PowerPoint was this. It's under the assignments, C assignment to test the setup. And in here I have the instructions, the steps that we want you to follow through. And with each step we have some instructions on just exactly what you're doing in that step. One thing to note is that before you log into Frontera, you're going to need a TAC token application running in your phone. This TAC token, the link to the website is in step 4. If I click on that link, you'll see there's some blurb about what to do. There's also some download instructions. And then once you've downloaded it, then you have to pair the application up. So you have to go through this pairing operation. So I just want to point that out. So now let me demonstrate the 17 steps. To do that demonstration, I need a terminal application or PowerShell. If you're using Windows 10, it's PowerShell you want. If you're using some other variant of Windows, you need to install SSH on your system, because that's the only way we're going to be going into Frontera. So the first step was to log in now to Frontera. Frontera at, actually my username, tg457427 at frontera.edu. So here I am, SSH into my username, Frontera.edu Texas. So you're going to use your own username, not mine. That's your design safe username. Design safe username that allows you to log into TAC machines. So now I'm opening up my phone, that TAC application, and I get a 6-digit number when I start that application. I enter that 6-digit number, and now I've logged into Frontera. Frontera has a number of login nodes. Each one of them will be slightly different. But here I am at Frontera. If I do an ls, I have a bunch of files and directories already here. When you do an ls, you'll have probably nothing there. So the next step, we wanted to clone the repo we just forked. So git clone. Because I put that into my clipboard, I can do a Control V, which will get the repo. So I'm cloning, again, we're cloning GitHub F McKenna, which is my username. You want to clone your own username, don't use F McKenna. So I've now cloned this repo. What this will do, it's downloading into a new directory all the files that are in that repo. If I do an ls now, you'll see now I have a SimCenter Bootcamp 2020 that I did not have before. I'm going to cd into that repo, cd, start typing, and then you can do a tab to complete the command. So I'm inside this repo, so pwd shows me the current directory I'm in. So I'm inside the repo. If I type ls, you'll see all the files that are in here. Now what we wanted to do is we want to add now a pointer to the original SimCenter repo. So I'm just going to issue a command here that's not shown in the instructions, git remote. That just shows me what's currently I'm pointing to. So I'm currently pointing to my own repo at GitHub. So now I want to add a new pointer. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it upstream. Upstream is the typical name people give this repo. The original repo, it's always called upstream. So I Control V'd again because it's very similar to what I had before. So I just have to place my username with Neary SimCenter. So to move on the lines, it probably wasn't clear enough, but I use up arrow, and then you can use the left and right arrows on a line. So if I do a git remote -v now, git remote -v, you'll see that I've got origin with the original one, and now I've got this new one called upstream, pointing to the original's Neary SimCenter repo. Okay, so that's those steps done. Where's that got me to? So now I've gone through steps 1 through 8. Now what I want to do is create a new directory. I'm going to cd into my home directory, create a new directory. In that directory, I'm going to create a file. So let me go do that. Okay, so cd into tilde. Tilde brings me to the home directory. Now I'm going to make dir hello. I'm going to change directory into hello, cd hello. If I do a pwd, show me where I am, you'll see that I'm in hello. If I do an ls, I will see that I have 0 files. So we want to create a file. To do that, we're going to emacs hello.c. That creates the hello.c file. It's an empty file. And now we just start typing. So it's pound include standard io.h. That'll bring in all the, that's lowercase. I'm just using the left and right arrows here. Return key, then int main, int argc, jar pointer argv. These little bit is not necessary, but it's good practice to put it in. Open curly brace, close the curly brace, and then in a line here we want to issue the command to print hello world. So it's printf is a function I'm going to be calling. In quotes, I want to put hello world, and we'll just put a \n to put in a new line. And I want to end the line with a semicolon. which ends the statement. So now I'm going to hit Control X, Control S, which saves the file, and then Control X C to get out of the application. So now if I do an ls, you see I have hello.c. What I can do now is compile hello.c. So ICC is the Intel compiler that's available to us. ICC hello.c. We'll compile it and create a new application called a.out. Now I can run a.out by just /a.out. That's what I could do, but to be a good citizen, they don't like you running applications at the login node, so I'm going to create an interactive session by typing idev. This takes a little while. It's basically sending us off to another node. It's not a login node, it's actually one of their compute nodes. This takes a little while. Okay, so you see the login prompt is gone, and now it's some compute node given by this designation. But I'm still in my same directory, so if I do an ls, I still see I have it at a.out. /a.out will run the command, the application a.out. When I run it, I see I got hello world. So I'm done. To exit the compute nodes, I type exit. That gets me out of the idev section. To exit SSH, I type exit again. And now I'm back in terminal, and I can close my terminal application. So again, all these steps are available at this web page here, which we found at the bottom of our fork. So here's my Windows 10 virtual machine. I'm going to quickly start. I can do PowerShell or terminal. Let me just do it in command. So I'm going to SSH into Frontera again. At frontera.tac.u texas.edu. Ask me for my password again. And then I have to open up my phone, get out that TAC token. Get it entered. There we go. So now I've logged in. ls, I'll see my SimCenter Bootcamp 2020, and I've also got my little hello directory. cd hello ls. So there you have it. I've logged into Frontera on a Windows 10 using terminal. I could also do it with PowerShell. So with that, I'm done. I'll talk to you all on Monday.